Hello, everyone. Thank you all for joining us for another ZeroBounce webinar. So great to have you all with us. We know that you took time out of your probably very busy day, and so it means a lot that you spent time with us. Today, we're going to be presenting Verify Plus from ZeroBounce, something we're really excited to talk about, where you're going to be able to detect Yahoo and AOL disabled emails. My name is Paul Leslie. I'm a content creator here at ZeroBounce, joining you all from the coast of Carolina. Very curious, as always, to know where you all are joining us from. So if you would, while we wait for everyone to show up, just leave a comment. Tell me where you're joining us from. There's usually a little bit of a delay, and then they all start pouring in. So I see Stephen is joining us from the West Coast, Los Angeles, California. Deborah, hello, Deborah, joining us from Buffalo, New York. So we have both coasts represented here. Then the Midwest, Alex joining us from sunny Indiana. Simon from our brothers to the north, Montreal, Canada. Rachel, David, welcome back. Rachel joining us from Nigeria. Alex from Ukraine. Now on 3 different continents. 4, Jan joining us from the Philippines. Danielle from San Diego. Thank you all for joining us. It's such a pleasure to have people from so many different time zones, all to learn about Verify Plus. We're really honored that you're here. I'm going to introduce you to our speaker, Brian Minnick, Chief Operating Officer at ZeroBounce. He is a bona fide email expert. He's too humble to say that himself, but for any of you who have caught his past webinars and learned so much, it's true. He knows his stuff, and he knows ZeroBounce, and he can help you with it. To tell you a little bit about ZeroBounce, I know several of you are very familiar with our platform, and we thank you for that. It's one of the exciting things to talk about with this company. All of these internationally famous brands like LinkedIn and Intel, Disney, Netflix, Samsung, and of course, Amazon. And many of you all are ZeroBounce customers, and we are very grateful for that. I know you all are here to learn about Verify Plus, so I'm going to bring Brian on. While you're watching, if any questions occur to you, please don't hesitate. Just leave a comment and we will get to it.
Hi, Paul. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today. As Paul mentioned, I'm Brian Minnick, the Chief Operating Officer at ZeroBounce. Super excited to really kind of talk about Verify Plus, explain it a little bit more, and go through all of the heartache and pain that not only we went through, but you guys also went through as email marketers. So with that, let's jump right in. So the Verify Plus is really focused on Yahoo, AOL, and Verizon email accounts that back in 2018. So this is now 6 years here coming on. Yahoo started disabling accounts in 2018. The why they started disabling accounts actually made a ton of sense. So they've been around for a very long time. Many people have abandoned these emails that they created in the 1990s, the 2000s, and they have basically they started to run out of the ability for people to create meaningful email addresses. So instead of Brian at ZeroBounce, Brian at yahoo.com or whatever, Brian Minnick at yahoo.com, that name is so gone that it's now, if I wanted something like that, it's Brian Minnick 204189 at yahoo.com. Nobody wants that. So Yahoo started to disable these accounts. The ones that are basically, they have over a year of inactivity. And basically the concept is let it recycle back into the space of Yahoo that other people might want. And they're desirable names, potentially. And so the concept was if they haven't been using it, there's no activity on that email. They're not logging in. They're not sending mail. I want to be clear. It doesn't mean they're not receiving mail. but they're not sending mail. They're not checking their mail, those type of things. They wanted to do this concept of disabling it and putting it in a disabled status. So the disabled status that they put things in have really, quite honestly, for the email marketing world, they have been a massive problem. They have been and caused a lot of different things. But what's been very frustrating is, we consider ourselves the leader in email validation. That's our mission statement in what we do. That's how we act. That's how we think. It's in our blood. This is a problem. These disabled accounts that affected every email validation company. There has been no way to detect these disabled statuses with all of the traditional methods that email validators use. And so it came to a point where, we've been thinking and trying and testing. We have just to be transparent. We have R&D budget since 2018. We're specifically about solving this problem, and it has been in place. We've never let go of it. We still talk about it on our executive meetings. How are we going to solve Yahoo Disabled? How are we going to solve it? We never gave up, and all we could do really in the meantime for this problem is spread awareness. And so, there was no way to detect it. All we could do is spread awareness. And we did have a really amazing article written by Karina on our PR team. And she went through and said, she wrote all the details and even talked to Yahoo about this. So we had a one-on-one interview with Yahoo regarding these email addresses sitting in this disabled status, because quite honestly, we didn't understand the concept of why they weren't then being deleted. So we haven't seen all of this concept of them going into this deletion status and then becoming available. So what's happened is there's been a bunch of people just sitting in this disabled status. Now, the disabled status is an interesting one because, again, it's not detectable. So a validation, this is our process, by the way. I'll quickly go through some of it, but we go through a lot of different checks when we do our email validation scanning. And part of it, once you submit the email, we check the syntax, we go through all of that, we check DNS, there has to be MX records. We can't even connect to a mail server if there's no MX records. Is it a spam trap? Nope. Okay, then we start getting into the basic SMTP checks. Validators are doing this, nothing new here. What we started to do was kind of in this step 6. This is where we put in our extra layers of, innovation, imagination, all of these type of things that we do to try to break through the walls of, are these emails valid or invalid? And no matter what we did, we could not get to a definitive solution with these Yahoo disabled accounts. Primarily it's Yahoo, but also when I say this, just for the record, it's Yahoo, AOL, or Verizon email addresses. All of them are basically the same thing. So when we got into this proprietary scan, we were going through, we're testing everything. I had people dedicated to this problem. We still didn't solve it. It's very difficult. No one has solved it. As we went through and got into 2023, 2024, for anyone who's been here and been with ZeroBounce long enough, you may have noticed, and I hope you have noticed, a giant transformation of our whole company. So we went from a whole new platform, we went through a whole new engine, we changed all of our programming language. We started over in 2023 and launched that new platform. And part of that was it's set up in a concept of, we are going to be able to do more things. We have more people, and we're going to figure out how to do this. So we have never given up on this problem. It's always been top of mind for us. We've felt the frustration from customers. That's another thing that I really never want to let go of. This was, hey, why are all these disabled bounce backs coming? That 554.30, if anyone's a bounce code nerd, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The 554.30 is the killer. What happened? Why are all these emails bouncing? So this disabled status, what it meant, by the way, was the account went from active, meaning the email address was there, it could send and receive mail. They then moved it into this disabled status. This disabled status basically did not allow anyone to send mail to those recipients. However, if that owner logged back into the account would magically turn back and start working again. So they were kind of holding it, waiting for this person to log back in. And if it didn't happen, well, it stays in this disabled. So if you emailed these disabled accounts, you would get a bounce back with that dreaded 554.30. This mailbox is disabled. So in our process, we never gave up on it. This was in part number 6. The impact of this was felt everywhere, really. The email marketing industry, they felt this in a sense of, I have high bounce rates. My reputation was being impacted as a result of this. All these different things were kind of coming across here, and it started to create industry-wide fear. What do we do with these email addresses? Will I ever be able to email them? Do I trash them? What do I do with these people? These are people I've also signed up on my newsletter form 15 years ago. I've been in business for 30 years collecting data. What do you mean, don't email them? And it was the safest thing you could do, is the truth. At that time, the safest thing you could do was not mail them, because you don't know the outcome of that and overall the really big impact it could cause on your reputation. So what we did and continue to do is, when we're going through these 5+ years, by the way, driving us nuts, really want to stress that. This caused a lot of gray hairs on my beard. Yahoo, AOL, Verizon, still sitting disabled. 2024, still sitting disabled. We have seen email accounts that were disabled years ago that are still sitting there. They're not deleted. They're not available. They're still sitting in this disabled status. It has made no sense to us. We did think they would move to deleted. That would make some sense. At least it reopens it, etc. Anyway, 5 years, testing, trialing. We have finally come up with the solution. It's the definitive solution, by the way. So if anyone touts that they have other ways, we've seen them. It's not 100%. We don't want that for our customers. We need accuracy. Accuracy is a very important topic for us. So everyone waited for the answers, and I'm super proud to announce it for you guys. That Verified Plus is exactly the concept of this feature. We have coined it because it is a enhanced and different way to do validation on our platform. And basically what it's going to do is give you the ability to get an actual answer for these Yahoo, AOL, Verizon emails that you previously didn't know what to do with. So the process for it, super simple, by the way. Really a lot of credit to the team. For those who have not been with us for a very long time, or if you have, we have grown significantly as a company. We're coming up here on 80 people. Over half of our team is on the development team. We have dedicated people focused on our website, on our members platform, our APIs, our engine, everything. We really kind of thought through UI, UX here on how do we make this as simple as possible for our team, for our users. And you can see here on the right-hand side, if you were to upload a file into our platform now, and this has been live now, I think for about 2 weeks, a little less than 2 weeks. We have been wanting to announce it for a long time, but 2 weeks officially live and available. You will be prompted with this pop-up here on the right-hand side. And only if we are detecting Yahoo, AOL, Verizon type emails, we will present you with this pop-up. And it will basically say, how do you want to do this? Do you want to accept and opt in? You do need to opt in to Verified Plus. It is not on by default. You need to opt in. We give you some extra kind of control here. So if you just want to automatically make sure you use Verified Plus on every file, you'll select that. If you want to be asked each time, you can select that. And if you want to opt out of it, or stay opted out, I should say, everyone's opted out by default, then you can do that as well. And the concept here is actually very interesting. And it's very different from what email validation was and has been in the past. We are actually going to mail that email address. And what we're going to do is process if it bounces, then we're going to turn around and tell you it's an invalid email. And if it does not bounce and it delivers, that will be a valid email. So when you talk about definitive answers here, this is really the only way. This is the only way to get a solid yes, no. Is this email good, and is it going to bounce? And that's going to be Verified Plus, an option to opt into, which I highly recommend. Tons of people are already doing this, but I did want to kind of explain the how, the why. Now, for myself and our team, I think what's really important here is what I also want to showcase, and I want to give a lot of credit to our team. This is our commitment to our customers, to our brand, to everything we stand for around, we are here for you. That is the whole reason of ZeroBounce. We were built for people. We were built for marketers, and to make sure that you have the highest quality list with the lowest bounce rate you can possibly get. And this is how we're going to increase our accuracy, not to just 99% for everything besides Yahoo, because that's what we've always been able to claim. Now we include Yahoo, AOL, Verizon in our 99% accuracy guarantee. That's now a blanket statement, and I am super proud to announce that, make that as a comment. That has been a ton of hard work behind the scenes, of course, for you guys. Super simple, which I love. But what it's required is brand new workflows. So we had to scan your list before, check what's going on, Yahoo, AOLs. For anyone, again, who's been with us long enough, if you have uploaded files in the past and downloaded them, you may have been prompted with a pop-up that said, hey, there's a high number of Yahoo, AOL, Verizon emails on your list. Be careful of them. That goes back to how we were talking about before. All we could do was educate you. Well, now we can actually solve the solution and provide the solution. So it required brand new workflows, hardware for sending infrastructure. So we needed to be we have to handle the sends that you guys now want to put through our platform to understand what's going on with these Yahoo and AOL Verizon accounts. And of course, without any compromise, we have adapted fully for compliance. So this does not affect our compliance in any manner. And something that, again, super proud of our team. Our whole compliance team is on this, legal, everyone was involved as part of this to make sure that we do this in the right way and a transparent way for you guys as customers. So the other part here, which I'm also, again, very proud of, is to announce that this is a completely free piece and add-on that is included as a part of a normal validation and an email credit that we are a credit on ZeroBounce. So this is free. And the reason that it's free, and this was not easy, by the way, we have now become the ability to send the email at mass scale. That doesn't just happen, by the way. So to do this for free, the reason behind that is because, in our opinion, you deserve the best results. We have always been a testament towards that. And this is a commitment and to show you that we're serious about it. You should not be paying extra for this. You should get accurate results with your list. And it shouldn't have to be up to you to decide, should I send to this kind of a domain or not? We've never loved this. It's just where we've been stuck as a brand and as an industry. And so we're really excited to announce this. This is free. This is included in any credit. This is included on a freemium account. If someone uses our freemium only, no problem. It's risk-free. So what do I mean by risk-free? I think this is really important, as might have questions. Risk-free would be the detection that we're doing. It's 100% handled by ZeroBounce, okay? We are sending the email and we are processing the bounces and doing all of that and removing the risk of you impacting your sending reputation. Now, I already see it and I'm happy to kind of address it. The question, what does the email look like? Is there content in there? No. So it is a blank email that will be sent by a ZeroBounce domain, owned by ZeroBounce, with no identifying information back to you as a customer. And really, they probably won't even see it. Most likely will be in their spam folder. So the concept here is that it's kind of, it's risk-free in a sense of there's no, hey, by the way, brand XYZ is trying to see if your email is valid. Of course not. We're not going to do anything like that. But the risk side here is really actually all put onto ZeroBounce. So what you're left with is a very clean list, valid and invalid. So it's entirely handled by ZeroBounce. And again, what we're trying to be here is super transparent. We want you to be aware of what we're doing with your data. This has always been very important to us. It's your data and you have the control. If you don't want us to do this feature, there's no problem. By default, you are not opted in, and we will not do that for this product. However, if that is a big problem that you're dealing with, and I've even received emails today about this topic, and I think you're here, and I thank you for joining, this is a real problem in our industry. This is a real problem for everyone in email marketing or who sends email. And so we want you to be aware of what we're doing. It is not required, however, highly suggested. And you do have to opt in. You can opt in through the files when you upload, or under the account options. There is another whole section, and you can go ahead and opt in that way, and then we won't present it to you on the files. Lastly, the kind of, again, to stress on the importance of this, one of the big things that I think will be very good news for a lot of our customers is now these are gone. These high bounce rates caused by disabled accounts, your ESP giving you heck because you got a high bounce rate all on these Yahoo AOL accounts. We should be able to remove that completely for you. So I'm super excited for that. What's another nice little thing, and again, we're not coming out of the gate with we're not sure how we're going to do this. We're coming out full swing. This is fully usable with the API. So any of our customers here that are API reliant, and we love you guys, by the way, we're a tech company and we love our API users. You can enable this and it will do it automatically through file uploads. All you need to do is go into the account options and enable it. And we'll ensure we'll have some links in a follow-up email to make sure you know how to get there. And again, I'm just super proud of our team and kind of where we've got here. We're keeping it short today. This is a feature. This is not a whole new kind of business and whatnot. So I'm definitely going to keep it short today. I encourage you guys to all turn on Verified Plus and definitely upload any of those lists. If you, in the past, they came back as we weren't sure and you didn't use them. Now is the time to start bringing some of that data back. Let's verify it and test it. Get a good idea of how it's going to feel. For you, it's going to be very seamless. There's nothing to really do besides opt in and put the data in. And then also, if you do ever have any questions, you are welcome to always reach out to our support team and to anybody here on the sales side or whoever you're kind of working with, an account manager. Also, for anyone who's attending today, because I do appreciate your time and I do appreciate you hearing what we have to say, there's a 25% off your next purchase. There's a QR code there, as well as the promo code will be Verified Plus. So that offer is going to expire on the 27th of May. So in about 11 days here. And I definitely encourage you to use it. And again, I really, really want to just thank people for coming here, hearing what we have to say. This is a groundbreaking piece of innovation in our industry. And I'm super proud of our team, and I'm super proud of our customers for continuously actually pushing us to figure this out. And so neither side has stopped, and we finally made it here. So I really do want to thank everybody, and also want to invite Paul back here so maybe we can take some questions.
All right. Great presentation, Brian. I know that these Yahoo, AOL, and Verizon addresses have been the ultimate riddle for a lot of people. Any questions, please submit them to the comments, and Brian's going to be happy to answer any and all questions.
I'll just maybe spend another second here on Tiffany's question, because I think it's important, and it's a good question, Tiffany. So really, thank you for asking. So can you share what the email you send looks like? I can't share basically a blank email. It's a blank email. There's no subject. There's no body. And the from is a domain that ZeroBounce owns. And in your question, your second part of that is, does the client provide the email content? No, you do not need to provide any content. This is a checkbox, basically, a selection on your upload of your file or a preference in the backend for any API users. And you're simply just opting into this. You're giving us the consent to send an email in your behalf. However, it's not necessarily attached to you. So what we're doing is sending the email, and we're giving you the ability to get an accurate result for what is a super, super pesky problem with these Yahoo disabled emails. So it's a good question, Tiffany. Thank you for asking.
I know one question we have been seeing is, will ZeroBounce send an email to all the email IDs mentioned in the list for the verification, or is it just going to be the Yahoo, AOL, Verizon ones?
Again, very good question, actually. Thank you, because I don't think I covered that. We are not going to send emails to everyone on your list. So I'm going to spend a minute here. So if you upload a list, let's use numbers, 1,000 emails on it. Let's keep it small and easy. if 500 of those emails are business domains and ZeroBounce.net emails and Apple.com emails, no, we would not do any sort of, the traditional methods that we have are accurate and will remain in place for all of the domains except Yahoo, AOL, and Verizon. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of scoop those out, and then we'll put them into the Verify Plus process the emails and do the sending, process any bounces that are coming back, and put it all back together for you, just as you always have seen. So you're not going to see anything new on your results, by the way. You're not going to, there's no tweaks to the results. There's no, hey, we did this here and this is that. It's going to be valid or invalid at this point. So before, we got mixed results because you couldn't tell. Now the result of that, you can confidently feel comfortable using and sending to. So, and I see a bunch of kind of questions here around edu emails. No. We're not sending to any of those domains. We are only sending to yahoo.com, AOL.com, Verizon.com emails, and any of the kind of overarching smaller companies that use it. But those are the major ones that almost every single person who's had this problem is aware of. Good question.
Raffaello asks, what about art.net emails that are serviced by Yahoo?
Great question. And I'm going to take that one back. Raphael, if you could put, or I hope we have your contact information. I'm sure we do. If you're comfortable, feel free to throw your email in here and we'll follow up right after, and I'll get you a answer on that. We'll send it back.
Then Rachel David asks, how about to Gmail accounts?
Good question. So yeah, Rachel, good question. So you're probably aware of the Gmail accounts also being purged, the great Gmail purge, we call that. And I believe that happened in March of 2023. Please forgive me if I am messing up that date here. It was either then or the end of 2023. We've already solved for that, by the way. So there's nothing to be concerned about. If you have when they started the purging, and again, sorry, I don't remember the exact date, but if you ran the list after that purge date that they announced it, we have gone through and we've completely made sure we're comfortable there. We have not heard any issues about Gmail users, any of those customers sending to them, hitting these disabled accounts. We have this is a different problem. The Gmail accounts, sorry, they actually did it correct. They disabled them and deleted them. So it was detectable by validation. Yahoo has just decided to let them sit in this status. And that disabled status is what's caused tons of problems in our industry. So Gmail didn't do it that way, Rachel. Gmail did it, in my opinion, the right way, deleted them, and we were able to detect it the whole way through that. So there hasn't been an issue with our Gmail processing.
Does Verify Plus work with the API validation as well, or is it just file validation, Brian?
It is file and API. So this can be enabled, but once again, has to be done on the, it has to be done in the account settings. And I would recommend, if this is something you want, just put it to always allow. The reason that we put that control in place is potentially if you're a marketing agency and maybe one of those lists is going to a different brand and they didn't give you consent to do this, we want you to have that control. So we're going to make sure that you have the control to opt in, opt out. Regarding API, yes, it's compatible with our API. You do just need to enable it, and maybe another kind of pat on the back for our team here. No code changes required at all. So all you're going to get, enable the setting and just get better results.
I see that Raffaello is clarifying when he had mentioned art.net, he meant att.net, AT&T.
Got it. Okay, sorry, but for some reason, massive difference in my head. Art.net, I was like, I'm not really familiar with that one. att.net, yeah, it's if it's under the Yahoo, AOL, Verizon umbrella, it should be part of that concept, and it should be part of Verify Plus. But I'm going to double check for you to make sure. But yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be.
Curious, could you clarify whether the recipients, are they made aware of any of the emails sent to validate their addresses, or does the process remain transparent to them? How is that handled?
Yeah. So again, transparency is big for us here. So we're not trying to hide anything that we're doing here. We are, again, sending a blank email, blank subject, blank body. There's no content. There's no identification back to you as a customer. And it's being sent by a ZeroBounce owned domain. So that's disassociating it from you as a customer. And for the most part, I have not heard any reason why we should be in the inbox. That's not the goal of our email there. So, landing in the spam folder with a blank email, blank subject, generally speaking, won't be looked at. And so there shouldn't be any sort of association to you or any sort of association that would flag someone to come and say, hey, Paul, why did you send me a blank email? No, there will be none of that. All the risk actually is passed to ZeroBounce.
And folks, if there's any more questions, please don't hesitate. Brian, will Verify Plus be free, or will it change in the future?
Great question. So Verify Plus is free. We do not see, again, yes, it's a massive value add. We're very aware of that. Could we have charged for it? Probably. However, this didn't just cause you guys pain. This caused us a lot of pain too as a company. So we kind of felt that the customers that have been with us for a long time, the new customers that are coming to look for these solutions, no, we thought that this was owed to you as a testament towards accuracy. So nothing drove me more crazy as an executive at ZeroBounce to say we have 99% accuracy, except AOL, Yahoo, Verizon. That never sat well with me. It's always been something that's bugged me. So I'm really proud to put this back to say 99% across the board. And again, there's no charge for this. You do need a credit. So yes, you do have to have credits on your account, but there is not an additional charge to use Verify Plus. You just need to have validation credits. And will Verify Plus change in the future? The short answer is probably. And the long answer is there is a ton that we can now do with all of this set up in place. I'm going to let people's imaginations wander because we have a lot of work to do. But we have lots of ideas of how we can continuously expand this and enhance the results and all of these different types of things. So yes, I would expect to see in the future more enhancements, more announcements coming around Verify Plus. The reason we didn't call it Yahoo Plus is because it will be more than Yahoo. However, for now, it's Yahoo, AOL, Verizon. That is, we have to start somewhere, and this solved a very big problem. And so we're proud of that. But yes, it will change, and it will definitely change for the better and more better results for you. But Paul, I do see that question from Mary. I do want to hop on that one if I could.
Sure. And
so
Mary
the question,
asked, go ahead. What happens when someone reports those as spam?
Good question, Mary. So traditionally, if you were to email that person and they report you as spam, that affected you as a sender. However, you are not the sender of Verify Plus. So when you run the data and we send the email, that spam report, if we do get one, will affect ZeroBounce. It will not affect you as a sender on your own domain in your own platforms. So that's kind of what I meant, and to add more color to this, Mary. So it's a great question. The risk has been transferred from you to ZeroBounce. And because we are able to, take on that risk for you, it's back to our testament, helping our customers get into the inbox. So when you have these issues, this is exactly the concept. Why are we going to put all the risk onto you when we can take on the risk? We're set up, right? This is what we do. We process billions of email addresses. I don't know, I think a couple billion a month we're processing to our platform. We know how to handle scale and mass scale. And so, yes, this is completely for us to deal with, not you. And that's kind of, again, a testament towards it. Raphael, you will definitely have some better bounce rates after Yahoo and Verify Plus is performed on the list. You're welcome, Mary.
All right. This has been great. I think we have all the questions that have been asked have been answered. Hope that this provides some clarity to everybody out there. Thank you all so much for joining us.
Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Paul. Thank you for being a great host, as always.
Thank you. And everybody out there, you can always get in touch with us at any time. You see that email address there, support@zerobounce.net. ZeroBounce is very, very receptive. Thank you all so much for spending time with us. We don't take your time for granted, and we look forward to seeing you on the next webinar. You all have a great day.